Today I kind of want to talk about gear a little bit, specifically audio recorders. I don't really want to talk about gear too much on this channel unless I really think that it needs to be talked about or reviewed in a different form, because there's a bunch of channels that does that already. But I think what I need to talk about is kind of important, so let's get started. Specifically, what I want to talk about is how the gear is used on the field and the advantages and disadvantages and the quirks. The gear I'm about to mention, I don't own anymore. I've sold them, but I do want to talk about them because it has helped me in my progression as a field mixer, and I think it's important to talk about. First off, it's the H4n from Zoom, which is like a very well-known recorder. Everyone knows about it. If you tell any filmmaker, they're like, yeah, I know about it, or they own it, or whatever like that. That's the very first recorder I had, and it kind of started like the revolution, I think, for portable recorders and the quality it can bring out. That recorder got me through a bunch of short films, some features, and just recording in general. And so I think that recorder is still like a legendary recorder because it survived that long. Well, I took care of it very well. People rented it from me also. It's got scuff and stuff, but like it still worked very well. But it was just sitting on my shelf for like years, and I just kind of felt like I need to get rid of it. It wasn't quite in my way. Sometimes it was like, it was just, I have to store stuff also, and I get new stuff. So I was like, I need to sell this, and so I did. Next on the list is Tascam DR70D. It's a very long model number. I wish they would change it, but whatever. I've owned that recorder for quite a bit. I do like that recorder. It was very good for what it did. I used it on a complete feature and it sounded fine. The reason why I don't have that anymore is because I bought the Zoom F8N. That's been my workhorse this entire time. We'll get more into that later. But because of that, the Tascam has just been sitting there, kind of getting dust. And I was going to keep it for backup recorder, but I thought to myself, I don't really need this anymore. So I sold it to a buddy of mine. So I would have never bought the F8N if it wasn't for a few things about the Tascam. The Tascam, you can't relabel the names in the recorder, and it doesn't record poly files like you would want it to. So I have to record it in mono and then combine them together with Wave Agent, and sometimes that process was kind of weird. It was kind of a lot of work. It definitely was a lot of work. I'm assuming a majority of people won't do that, but I did it for the feature film. I actually grabbed the audio tracks that was recorded in separate mono, and I combined them to a poly file before I gave it to the director, and I think he appreciated that a lot. He didn't know I did that. I relabeled it too, so there's that. That's basically the main thing why I didn't want that recorder anymore. And it doesn't have time code, and I kind of want time code into my workflow these days. Alright, so let's talk about the recorders I currently own. First off, I want to talk about the Zoom H1N. This recorder is actually, a really good recorder. One thing that I didn't like too much was that it was kind of long, like it was meant so you can hold it, but if you held it, you can get handling noise, and in Zoom recorders, handling noise is like, it happens a lot. But it was very easy to use. The record button's right there. To format the card was kind of weird. I felt that it could have been more intuitive menu system. But then the line in and the headphone out, they work very well. So when I first got it, I thought I didn't like it because, like I said, it was kind of a long handle. But then after I bought another recorder, which we'll talk about in a second here, I realized that this recorder is actually really good. It is only XY stereo, of course, but I mean, that's really all you need for stereo. And it's very handy. And there's a quarter 20 thread down here. So, I mean, it's called handy for a reason. So this is a Zoom F1. And this recorder is still kind of new. It was kind of branded in the sense you can, connect a lav mic to it and then press record and just let it go, which, it makes sense. It has 2 batteries, so it does kind of last long. The longest it ever lasted me was probably 6 hours, roughly. I didn't do actual tests, but So when I first got it, I thought this would be the great recorder. You know, it's got a belt strap I could put in my belt. I can use it for the actual thing. But I also, got it because you can connect modules to it, the mic modules, which we'll talk about that in a second because that's one thing that is why I'm creating this video. But the Zoom F1, for some reason, it's actually not as good as people might think. The connections are good. You know, when you're doing the live stuff, it's fine. The menu system is more intuitive than the H1N. It's kind of the same, but you can actually go to the menu by just going to the menu instead of doing this weird thing you need to do. But here's some quirks about it. The door for the batteries is in a weird spot because this bar is here, this belt bar here, and the record button. So it's very easy to press the record button, which we like, but it's also, because of that, it's very easy to also press it again to stop, and it stops recording. Now, I made a video about that. If you want to look at it, you can check it out. But that's kind of an issue for me. I don't want it to just like stop recording. And also, when I first got it, I used it for the lav system for an event, which was free, so it was fine. And the dude didn't care. I didn't care either. But when I was putting it into his pocket, because it was real quick, we couldn't like put this on his belt. Which I think this belt idea here is probably the worst idea I think anyone can think of. If if people like it, that's fine. But I think it should be like removable, you know. But when I was putting it in his pocket, because of this door, it's very easy to just click out, and the battery comes out, and then it turns off. So there's that. And I mentioned that in that one video I spoke about earlier also. So yeah, I think the design is just not that intuitive. Also, so it says here mic and line in, but for some reason when I try to do line in, it sounds terrible, like very, very bad, like distorted bad, as compared to the H1N. It sounds great. It's clean. I literally used this 2 weeks ago for a wedding, and I got clean audio, and I've been using it for events. And I was like, that's when I was like, I'm starting to like this more. And I've been using this in my vlogs. The F1, I've been using it for my vlogs because of the stereo mic. But my last vlog, I think 2 vlogs ago or 3 vlogs ago, I recorded something and I didn't have my headphones. Actually, I did, but I didn't put it in because I just trusted it. And it sounded like RF interference. So either the mic went bad for some reason, which I don't know why, because it's like just been living in my bag and hasn't been thrown around anywhere, or it's just going bad in general. I know there's a lot of people on YouTube that talk about these capsules and they actually don't praise it very much, and I realize why. When I first heard about the capsules, I thought they were a pretty cool idea, a great idea. But then, like for the H6, when you can have the extra 2 mic capsule connected, you have 6 tracks total. I was like, that's a pretty cool idea, you know. But you can't have had the power to it, so it's got to be, I don't know what, lavs maybe. And also, like, okay, let's jump to the H6 and the H4N. All right, real quick. So those recorders, they're handheld recorders, right? Kind of like the H1N, you know. But we'll just use this as an example. So if you do any short film or any using a boom mic at all, really, if you don't do any bag work, then you kind of have a struggle. I see a lot of people who are very new and they don't know anything about sound. They hold their recorders, which kind of sucks. But when I was using my H4N, what I did was I tied a kind of a lanyard type thing here, and I just put it around my neck, and it just hangs on my neck. And then my XLR would go in here, and then I have my headphones out, and then I just listen to it. So that was a solution I had, but then that was only for booming only. Like I can't put a lav there. This is the Sennheiser AVX systems, but that was it. So like the H6, if you add more mics inputs, like where is it gonna stay? Like is it gonna are you gonna hang around your neck, whatever, you know? So like that kind of system, you know, you gotta kind of think about ergonomics and how you're gonna work throughout the entire set. So jump back into the F1. I don't, like I said, my line in, I don't know if it's just mine, but that doesn't work very well anymore. USB, I never use USB out for anything. The micro SD card, it's also kind of a pain to go in and out, but you know, it's not that bad. But let's connect this for a second. So when the capsule is connected, you know, it recognizes it, which is cool. It's very intuitive, very simple to use, and then automatically sets it up. This is a mid-side capsule, so it already creates the stereo image for you, which is kind of, you know, nice. But also, the mic, it's kind of noisy. So, like, if I turn it up, obviously, I'm mostly recording ambience type stuff with this mic. But like, if you record, like, the more you turn the preamps up, the more noisy it gets. That's not ideal in ambience recording because the noise floor is very low in ambience. But there's also more quirks with the F1. When I first got it, I made a video about it. It was very quick. It wasn't a formal video, but there's no quarter 20 down here, which I don't know why. That was kind of a, and why they did that? Because, you know, the H1N got a quarter 20, and it's much thinner than the actual F1. So you have to buy the shock mount, which adds so much more like bulk to it. Because I wanted it for its you know, compactness to be low profile, but now I have this. If I add my mic, it's huge. Yeah, we got a cord 20, we could put a hot shoe, but I mean, I don't use it that much. I have to use it, actually, you know, obviously. But look at this, like, compare both. Like, I could just set this on a mic stand or a light stand and just record. So I have to set this up, and I think a lot of people didn't like that also. I think, I'm assuming the F1 line, it's not getting the praise that they thought it would get. So I don't want to sound like I'm complaining anymore, but like if you don't want to use the belt thing, you got, you know, this loop where you can put it on your belt real quick. But also, like, when you screw it in, it's super tight, and you already have these bars that gets in your way, so you have to like really pry on this to put it on your pants or your, you know, belt, whatever. And it's just, again, like I said, it's not the most thought out system. Now let's talk about the competitor for the F1, which is the Tascam DR10L, which in my opinion beats the F1 by so many like reasons. And it's all simple ones, the ones that I like mentioned earlier. First off, the record button's not in the front. You actually have to hold the switch like a little bit to record it and to stop it. So that's very, very difficult to do, which is a good thing. Like, because this is the type of recorder that once you start recording, you don't stop. And then the clip for the belt, you know, it's kind of tight, but you know, it's there. It's a lot smaller, low profile. And the battery door is, you know, it's kind of harder to get it out. You actually have to go in there and get it out. Those things alone like wins. They also have a setting where you can record -6 dB less or -12 dB less from the actual normal setting of the preamps that you put. And that's it. And this costs less than the F1. So there's that. That's because, it's only a lav mic, so it's only designed for one purpose, which I think it's fine. People use this all the time. Everyone talks about this all the time. I love it. I tell everyone. I recommend it to everyone. If you want better quality audio, you can get better lavs. I don't want to sound like I'm bashing on Zoom because I actually like their products. I just feel like some of the products they're making, it's not fully tested in the field. Like, you got reviews on YouTube that review it, but you actually have to test it, like in the actual situation, like when it's a run and gun type deals and stuff like that. Stuff that I do that, like, I don't have the time to really think about setting up this mic. With that said, I do own one of their field recorders, the Zoom F8N, which is a really good recorder. So like I said earlier, I bought this recorder and I sold my Tascam DR70D. This recorder has been my workhorse for past several years. It's great. It feels wonderful. It's aluminum. It's got time code. It's got the module thing back here, which I'm pretty sure 100% of people do not use. So when the F8N Pro was released just this year, people wanted that gone, but it's not. So that's unfortunate, but whatever. They might make a bigger recorder. And one thing that I really love is the dual recording, so I can record redundantly and know that I'm pretty safe. So I know this is kind of dusty, but that's because it lives in my bag like facing up, so dust gets on it. It's not like I don't use it a lot. I use it all the time, actually. Every gig I'm on, I use it. So there's that. And I built my whole bag around the recorder. I kind of have a video on that. It's more on the lines of wireless boom setup, and I just kind of show my bag in it. But so where am I getting at in this video? Several vlogs ago, I mentioned about going further than just the F1 and kind of recording like ambisonic sound, like how I mentioned earlier. But I also mentioned that I don't really want to bring my Zoom F8 out there, F8N out there into the field, like a whole bag system and a microphone or 4 microphones, 4 inputs rather, XLRs or more. But I was like looking into the ambisonic microphone from Zoom, which seems pretty cool, but I don't know. Also because of this recent situation with my F1 capsule here, I don't know if I want to go that route. I don't even know if there's a review out there about it, so maybe I should rent it maybe and test it out. I don't know. So this is my experience with the recorders. It might be different for other people. I'm hoping what I'm hearing from this microphone is just RFI, and it's actually not the microphone itself. But either way, I actually might get rid of it and just start using my H1N, because the fuzzies that I can put over this capsule, it can fit this if I finesse it well enough. So there's that. And also, like, it takes up less space. And just look at this. I have to carry literally all of this just to record, stereo sound. And then I could just do this. I think it's worth mentioning that I have used Sound Devices recorders before. I've never used the Mix Pre recorders, even though I have access to it. I just never used them because really there's only one reason, and it's because it only has one SD card in it. And the projects I do now, I take it seriously, so I want at least a redundant recording. I know a lot of people think redundant recording is useless, but it's happened before where I would take one card and then you know, nothing's in it, and I freak out. So redundant recording is actually pretty important in my world. I just got a new camera, and that was actually the #1 thing I wanted, redundant recording, even if it means like a different form of media. Because I know some cameras take like 2 different medias, or if it's like the Blackmagic Pocket cameras, you can do SSD, maybe CFast. I don't know. I heard that you can, but I don't know for sure. A lot of people don't for some reason. But yeah, the camera I got is a camera T70, and I got it for 2 real reasons really. It's Canon RF mount. I'm running RF mount these days with my EOS R, and then it's got time code, and it's got redundant recording, and it's SD cards. Now, granted, I bought the expensive ones so I can like run RAW, but it's SD cards regardless. So enough about that. Like I said, redundant recording is pretty important for me, and I kind of wish these portable recorders can start doing that. Like the F3, I think I'll be interested in it if you can put another SD card in it and have redundant recording. But I don't think it does. But I know that reliability on recorders and cameras and whatever is much higher now. Like, you know, the cameras I'm recording right now, there's only 1 SD card, and it's never failed on me, except maybe my ADD. It didn't really fail, but that was the SD card freak out that I had. But luckily it wasn't an important video, it's just YouTube video. But yeah, like YouTube videos like this, I won't really care about redundant recording, because I could just do it again maybe. Depending on how much energy I have and how much I want to set up, like everything. But that's what I want to talk about. Quirks and gear itself, I know everything is not perfect, every equipment is not perfect, and there's something about it that others will like and don't like. I've told you guys mine. Timecode has become kind of a big deal for me, and I want to kind of implement that more. In my area, we don't seem to use timecode that much for some reason, unless like you get into like the bigger stuff. When I say big, it's not even that big, but they use timecode just because they have multicam. That's it. But I want timecode to be implemented in like every camera. Really, I think it should, and I think it's about time we do it. So my next possible purchase is gonna be the Tentacle Track E. That is like the Tascam DR10L, but it records 32-bit float, and it has timecode because it's Tentacle sync stuff. So I kind of want to get that a shot. It's a little pricey because timecode, I'm sure, but if I can like use that with my other timecode units, then that's great also, because it could be used as 2 items. The reason why I want to get that is I've been kind of experimenting more, again, redundancy recording, and lately I've been going sub out of my F8N into a Tascam, or my Tascam. I used to have 3 of these. I sold 2 of them to my buddy of mine. Ironically, I borrowed them again. But like, so if there's a case where I actually forgot to press record, which rarely happens, but you know, you never know what might happen, it would actually be recorded. But no one wants to scroll through like 2 hours of audio footage to find it, you know. So if it's time code embedded into it, then it'll be quicker, it'll be easier, you know. So there's that reasoning, and yeah, it's just more on the professional line of thinking. As you progress in the field you work in, you kind of think more about how can I improve what I do, and this is kind of one of it. The FAN, I'm gonna own for a long time. I don't plan to get the FAN Pro because I don't need 32-bit float. That's kind of useless in my opinion. I'm sorry, I'm kind of old school. There are occasions where I think it would be helpful, like if you're recording really loud stuff, then it's good. But then again, I have a whole rant about 32-bit float, and I don't want to go at it in this video. If you want me to make another video about it, I can. I probably will, because 32-bit float is like has become this weird area in the audio slash film world, more geared to film people, which they need to learn a little bit more about audio, because a lot of film guys don't know enough about sound, and I still hate that. So I'm going to end this video now. Thank you for listening and for my ramble. I hope you got something out of this. I hope I got something out of it. But yeah, until next time.